Hockey Town, it's a place where dreams are found. We fought so many battles here, now we're the ones that they will fear. The cup resides within our town, we won't stop no letting down. The cup is ours for all to drink, it's our time, let's rock this ring.
Yo, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Hockey Town Rundown. You are here with us, your beautiful hosts, once again, Carlo, Zack, and Derek. Boys, how you guys doing? How's your weekend so far? Not all at once now. I'm doing this for a second time.
Again, it's going great. Not hopefully getting killed by the fiance upstairs. I'm happy to be back after 3 weeks of not being here. So, Carlo, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good. Suffering from allergies, the typical thing in August and September for me. Apologies, folks, but if you hear mouth breathing, it 100% is me. So please feel free to drop a line in the comments of the best allergy medication. It would go a long way, as well as the like and the comment. So please feel free to drop a line because this kid is not having fun. No, the throat's dry, running out of water. But anyways, Zack, how you doing, buddy?
Get this man a tissue. I'm doing well, just kind of slightly recovering from a hangover from a beautiful wedding that I attended to last night. Congratulations to Alicia and Chris. If you guys are watching, congratulations. Thank you for the hospitality and the great atmosphere that you guys provided for us. And honestly, great food, great people, and great times, honestly. So thank you once again. Congratulations on that. And yeah, based on what Carlos said too, if you guys are returning, thanks for returning. If you guys are new, thanks for stopping by and joining us on this episode. Go ahead and hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Get it to 20 likes. You guys are doing a really good job at that, honestly. You guys are freaking killing it. So continue that good stuff. Also, go ahead and follow us and rate us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts as well, where you can find us on there. And then we still have that giveaway that we still need to announce once we hit 1,000 followers on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, whichever you prefer. So only 5 away, boys. I can't believe that. That's honestly huge. So we're very grateful and appreciative of all the support that you guys show us. Honestly, it really does mean a lot to us. So from there, I think, yeah, we can go ahead and jump right into the episode. And what do we got? Y'all know the drill. That's the off season. It's going pretty slow. No complaints here. But we still got some stuff to talk about. A lot of around the league new stuff. But we are going to be doing a rundown on Michael Brandsegg-Nygård, Nygard, however you want to pronounce it. The world is your oyster, my friends. Go ahead. Speak it to existence. So I got Sundays. I can't speak, boys.
Yeah, every Sunday. It's just like you must talk a lot during the week.
The life of sales, my dude. Yeah, It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Brain just shuts down after this point.
Oh, yeah. And I think I have this hat on too tight even after getting my hair cut. So, but let's go ahead and jump into the game notes because Derek always puts this in here. Nothing till September, LMAO. Red Wings news. The Red Wings and Pistons are staying on Bally Sports, Diamond Sports Group or whatever they're called, right? So, yay, nay on that.
I'm not a fan of Bali, let me tell you. It doesn't work well with my Xbox. But hopefully I'm the only one having that issue. So I've been paying for them for the last 3 months without hockey. So I'm going to keep it.
It is pretty disturbing that you have to pay for a very broken app, though, because I've had multiple issues with them. So hopefully they get their crap figured out. So, Carlo?
I really don't care about the network. Wherever Ken and Mick are, that's where I'm at. I don't care whose logo is in the bottom right-hand corner. I wish Fox Sports Detroit was back because all their wicked intros are deeply missed. I'm talking about all the wicked guitar solos and stuff. Like that was awesome. Super nostalgic. But I mean, after Fox Sports Detroit kind of stopped, I don't really care. Just give me Ken and Mick. That's it. I'm cool with that.
That's pretty much all you need in this life as a Red Wings fan, right?
Big time.
Maybe other than these two beautiful, lovely people that we still need contracts for, but we won't be talking about them today. In other news for the Red Wings, Derek, I'm going to skip over your thing because obviously we'll be talking about that in the main topics, but LCA could make history as the arena that's been open the longest and never seen a playoff game if Wings don't make the playoffs this year. I have no hopes the Pistons are going to change that, so it's going to come down to the Red Wings, right? So that's not really a worry. Right? I mean, it's just like a silly thing to me, I guess. What do you guys think on that?
I mean, it's a little depressing seeing it not happen at this brand new fancy arena that we just got. Obviously, we know when we got it during a rough transition time. Well, it's been 7 years. If we don't do it this year, it'll be 8 years of the arena being open with no playoff games. A little sad for Hockey Town because I would love to see that logo back on the ice. But it's not going to be the end of all worlds. I mean, again, I'd still rather have Washington hold on to that and not an original 6 team get the new reward. So
hopefully that changes. What about you, Carlo?
Yeah, I mean, I think it is what it is. I think there's a good chance Detroit does make postseason this year, which hopefully ends that streak. But if they don't, I think we're in for a long streak again once we kind of get everything that's been building and all these young kids to develop some more and make the team and be on the team. Like once that happens, I think this is going to be, like you said, it's silly. No one's going to care anymore. You know what I mean? But, I'm really banking on Washington and Philly both regressing so we can stay firm at 91 points hypothetically and actually make the postseason. But one interesting thing about LCA, well, I guess it's not really about LCA, but it has to do with LCA. But I don't know if you guys seen this on Twitter, but so far it's Vancouver and Ottawa. Their logo is the complete center ice circle now. And it kind of seems somebody called it out and said, I wonder if this is a league-wide mandate to put the entire logo in the center ice dot. And I started thinking, I'm like, that'd be very interesting to see how the Red Wings handle that, considering their logos wouldn't really look right in the circle fully zoomed in. But yeah, take a look at that. I don't know. It looks great for Vancouver and Ottawa. I can't visualize Detroit's, but just a fun little arena topic.
I guess it would look all right if you put it on each half of the circle, right? So one on each half of the circle on the faceoff zone, right? In the center ice.
There's literally no white, like there's no negative space. There is zero white in Ottawa's and Vancouver's at least. Like it's the whole logo. It looks kind of sick, to be honest with you.
I'm gonna have to look at that. I didn't know that.
White and red.
I'll find it. I'll send it to you guys. But just
right.
An interesting little tidbit of info.
Yeah. Okay. No, that was pretty cool. Thanks for sharing that. That's awesome. Derek, I think you put this in here. I don't know how you heard about this, or maybe Carlo did, but Datsuk's Hall of Fame introduction called to be rescinded by the Ukrainian Canadian Congress after he attended a Russian tournament that was dedicated to 2 veterans of the Ukraine-Russian War. Hall of Fame says they do not look at the person's nationality when being inducted and won't stop it from moving forward. This is what?
Yeah,
really?
I saw this a couple days ago on I forget which website it was, but yeah, the Ukrainian Congress in Canada brought it all into question just because Datsyuk, again, where's Datsyuk from?
Right.
He's from Russia. What's he all about? Hockey. He lives in Russia. He's going to do all these hockey things. Is the war great that's going there? No. We can at least agree on that, but at the same time, it has nothing to do with what was actually he was doing over here. Well, none of that was happening at the time. So I get why the Hockey Hall of Fame's like, yeah, we can't really do anything about that. But it's a little interesting thing to hear them trying to rescind it just because of that. Obviously, I understand where they're coming from, but
that's kind of a reach.
Like, a little bit of a reach there.
What does Pavel Datsyuk have to do with like firearms and war? Like, leave the guy alone.
I'm only laughing because you're exactly right. It's like, what did he have to do with it?
You know what I mean? I don't know, man. Anytime you can complain about something, people just complain about something. I don't know. It is what it is, I guess, but silly.
Yeah, but the good news is, it doesn't look like it's going to affect Datsyuk in any certain way. He's going to make it to the Hall of Fame as he should.
100%, dude. 100%.
Good. Yeah, as he should. That just makes my jersey that more special for me. So,
damn right it does.
We're just going to go to around the league news, and then we'll hop into the main topic after that, because I'm assuming we'll probably be talking mostly on that. I'll run through this real quick. Patrick Laine was traded to the Habs, to the Blue Jackets for a second-round pick, and then the Blue Jackets receiving Jordan Harris. Holy crap. The Habs, I mean, this could look really good for the Habs, minus the whole amount of money that Laine is due. I think this is a win for the Habs. But the Columbus Blue Jackets lose a headache.
And only 2 years left on the contract anyways, so you're not taking the biggest cap hit, especially with them who have a lot of cap room. So I think they might have made a steal, especially if he comes out throwing 30, 40 goals up, then they have the ultimate win going on here.
Yeah.
Carlo's upset because he wasn't traded to Detroit. I'm just kidding. What do you think about it, Carlo?
I personally, there's not really, I don't see where Patrick Laine slots into the lineup in Detroit. So I'm thinking of this as like a bullet dodge type of thing. Not to call him a bullet. I think Patrick Laine is unreal. But I think for Montreal, this is fantastic. You know, they have arguably one of the top prospect pools as well, of very exciting youth. And they're going full bore and injecting that youth into their lineup. Mad props to the Habs in doing so. Now you add in a guy like Patrick Laine. Honestly, I think he's going to thrive in a place like Montreal. I really, really do. I think it's a great market, and I think he's going to do very well in it. And I think the youth that Montreal has, whether it be their young stud defensemen that are there, or obviously their forwards that are also insane, they're going to complement Patrick Laine very, very well, and vice versa. Patrick Laine is going to complement them very well. So very exciting to see what happens in Montreal with this addition. I think they're going to be a sleeper. They're going to be a sleeper.
All right. Is it recording? There. Jesus, Murphy. Okay. And then in other news, the Oilers did lose Broberg and Holloway to the Blues via offer sheet. So the compensation for that was pretty minimal. So honestly, I think it's a win-win for both teams in that aspect. The Blues get younger, they get more prospects in their cup board, and then Edmonton saves on cap. So do you guys find or see it one way or the other, or is it kind of a win for both teams? Kind of how I view it.
I feel like they lost Holloway for just a little too less. But at the same time, the Blues ended up throwing them another trade, or like a couple round trades that they sent over to them afterwards for like picks for picks. So I was like, that's pretty normal. They kind of came out pretty even in each way. So I'm not upset about it. I'm just more impressed that this is the third offer sheet in the last like 20 years that actually has gone through. Yeah. It's been the last 3 that have gone through. These 2 included and 1 beforehand, but kind of weird to see it 2 of the same team going to another same team, getting both players. So kind of cool to see. Nothing really happening in the 20th century or 21st century, not 20th. Jeez, we're not going back 100 years. But cool to see.
Yeah.
Thoughts on that, Carlo?
No, cool to see. Like Derek said, you don't see it. I don't think you see it often enough. I think this is something that needs to happen a little bit more. GMs need to flex this a little bit more, but to be honest with you, like I'm kind of surprised that both of them went. I mean, who's closer to a Stanley Cup? So, I mean, you want to go play with the St. Louis Blues, or do you want to go play with Draisaitl and McDavid? Like, that's the way I look at it. So, I mean, obviously money talks. Is it that much more money? I don't know. I don't really think it's that much more money. But yeah, that's it for me. I mean, obviously Edmonton, I got to look at what Edmonton gets back in return.
They were just picks.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just curious how the picks slotted. I can't remember exactly how that. I got to look into that a little bit more.
Yeah, I believe it was like 2 seconds and then like 1/3 or something like that. I could be wrong. Maybe it was 2 seconds and 2/3 or something relative to that.
1/3, because they all came in like $1 underneath the next tier level.
Oh, is that how they did it?
Third they had to give up.
Yeah, we talked about it on one of our previous episodes. Yeah. All these episodes meshed together. I can't remember if it was the last one or the one before that. But no, good stuff. And then Askarov traded to the Sharks by Nashville. Nashville gets it's Vegas's first round in 2025. The prospect David Edstrom, and then Magnus Krona, a goalie who is playing in the SHL. And David Edstrom was a former first round pick, selected 32 overall. Boys, honestly, low key, I think Nashville won this trade. I think Nashville won the trade because they weren't ever after they signed Saros, they weren't going to use Askarov. Could that have been a really good backup for them? Sure, but that's clearly what Askarov didn't want.
Yeah.
They had 3 first-round picks to use in 2025, and they're a pretty stacked team already. And so that sets them up to make, dare I say it, a blockbuster trade for Marner, Draisaitl, someone.
Well, I mean, if they, I'm sure if they have the cap, absolutely.
Right.
With the amount of stock, I guess they have. I mean, anything's possible. I think we've learned that.
And I guess the other part of it too is that I think Askarov's going to be a really good goalie. But we know goalies are just so voodoo, and it's going to come down to how well do the Sharks provide talent for him up front on the defensive end. You know, what's Askarov going to look like if he does start? Because he did sign that contract. And Derek, I think he's going to be on the team this year. I think that was the whole purpose of it, is that he wanted to be one of the goalies in the mix for the main gig. So I would be very shocked if he goes down to the minors, to be honest. But I could see this going very sour for the Sharks, but I'm very happy for them because one of my friends is a Sharks fan. So this could really work out for them, or it could really hit the shitter, so to say. I'm allowed to say that. What? Go ahead.
Okay, they got 2 years with them at $2 million, so it's a good trial run to see what he does. My guess is to be him and Blackwood up there. So Blackwood has a lot to do in that, and Askarov's going to have a lot more. So hopefully, what they brought in talent-wise, they might be able to support him, but it's going to be a rough couple of years, to say the least, in San Jose still. So,
Yep. And then the Sharks also got forward Nolan Burke and a 3rd-round pick in 2025. So, yeah, I'm going to stick with what I said. I think Nashville won the trade, but I could see why this is a huge win for the Sharks as well. So I think that's good for them. They got their franchise goalie, right, for the next hopefully 20 years or something like that. Rutger McGroarty traded from the Jets to the Penguins. Pens, yeah, they basically just swapped players, right? It was for McGroarty for Braden Yeager.
Yeah.
Yeager was a 14th overall pick in 23 draft, and then McGroarty was 14th overall in the previous draft, the 2022 draft. So I would have pegged McGroarty being the better player, but maybe the Penguins just did a really good job at, upping the value on Braden Yeager. I don't know. What's kind of your guys' thought process on that? Is there a winner? Is there a loser here? Maybe it's just very even. And I'm assuming the Penguins are just going to start him right away, right?
I mean, that's what McGroarty wanted. He wanted to get out of he doesn't want to go straight to AHL. He finished his college career, and he is a pretty decent player that probably can make an easy push to make the lineup right away. But obviously, Winnipeg was just so stacked already, a massive cup contending team, that where are you going to put a newbie at? You can't.
Yeah.
So is this possibly Kyle Dubas's way of saying, we want you to play with all these studs that we currently have, like Crosby, Malkin, Letang, Carlson, and then I could see this being where this is their future captain?
You know what? I was going to go down that road with you, dude. I kind of see that too. I mean, remains to be seen, of course, and super, super premature, but it's possible. Yeah, I mean, I think they're both – I do think McGroarty's a little bit of a better player, and I think the Penguins, for that reason, probably have the edge on this one in terms of who won the trade type of thing. But I think it's the character behind the player too that and I think that goes back to your point and what you were just saying, and possibly the roadway that McGroarty goes down. Yeah, I can see him being a big part of that organization for a while, and obviously they weren't afraid to go and get him. So, I think it's going to be interesting. I think he's going to play too. I think he'll play NHL with them.
Who's the equivalent on a Red Wing scale from Braden Yeager if you were to make this trade? I did see people saying Marco Kasper. I guess maybe that's the closest.
Probably, if we're looking at people who aren't playing or on the actual Detroit roster. Because other than that, maybe Burgers, if he was a little better, I would say. But then yeah, that's probably it. Nate Danielson, I think, is too far ahead of both of those players at this point. So I'd be asking him for a little bit more if he was in the trade block. But yeah, probably Mazur or
It'd probably
Casper.
be I was going to say, you can include, excuse me, you can maybe, yeah, I guess not trying to go deep into a rabbit hole about it because I don't want to get blasted online here. But yeah, I think the starting point probably would have been Marco Casper. And I think Steve Yzerman just would have said no ultimately.
Yeah, I agree.
So, all right. Other than that, oh, I must have not seen this, or maybe I just forgot about it. Manny Benier signs a 7 by $7.1 million contract with Seattle. That's huge. I mean, that's just another case for Lucas Raymond right there. I know Manny Beniers plays center, but still, young player who's only been in the league 2 years.
Yeah, it's right. Pretty sure, right? 21.
I think so. Yep. I don't have it pulled up in front of me. Someone fact check me down in the comments section. We're just rolling with this one today, boys and girls that are watching or listening to us. But while Carlo or someone else looks that up, the Hughes brothers to be on the next cover of the NHL 2025. I think that's awesome. I think that's really sick, honestly. And I was talking to my buddy Jeff about this, and we were trying to figure out who it could be because that was going to be his question for us on the mailbag. He was just forgetful to ask us the question. But yeah, we were talking about it, and I was like, well, the NHL or EA does this really weird thing where they actually don't select the Stanley Cup champion or someone who wins a major award. Obviously, in this case, Quinn Hughes did, but we saw it with like the Trevor Zegras and the Sarah Nurse cover, right? So I'm not shocked by this whatsoever, but I still think that it's really fucking sweet that they did this. So pardon for swearing if you have children around you, but yeah, I think this is really awesome. They're also Michigan boys too, so it gives us a little showcase out there in the world too. So thoughts on that real quick? Sweet, not cool, hate it, love it.
Wish all three of them played for Detroit, but I don't think why'd they have to leave their home state?
Yeah.
I wish they would just get back to action shots, like on ice, playing hockey shots as the cover. Like, it's a cool picture, don't get me wrong. And it's something cool maybe mom and dad would have in their basement, massively blown up above the couch or whatever. Sick picture. But, like, get back to the action shots, EA. Like, I don't know. That's just me. I just want to – I'm super nostalgic when it comes to video games. So I want to see what I saw when we were in the thick of it. Those action shots and stuff, they were awesome.
No, it's funny that you said that because I decided, I was like, when was the last time a goalie, because my buddy Jeff, once again, he said, you know, you don't think they would put Bobrovsky on there? I was like, when the last time that they put a goalie on there? And
was it Brodeur, 2014?
I believe so. It was Brodeur, yes. But then I obviously went venturing through to see all the previous covers. And yeah, the action shot ones were really cool.
Yeah, man.
With you, man.
Like the one with Brodeur is sick. That cover is unreal. Unless they did Vasilevsky. Did they put Vasilevsky on a cover? They haven't put him on a cover.
If it was anyone else, it probably I can't remember. I would have to look it up. You guys can let us know down in the comments if we are wrong. But they did use
going off on a tangent.
Yeah, they did use a decent amount of goalies, and I was quite surprised. But they should bring that back. Like I said, I think you have to pick people that are at the top of the league in that specific year, or they win the Stanley Cup. Like I remember the year that Vegas won, and there was that one photo where they're all circled, like hugging each other. I was like, that would be the sickest cover photo ever, and they didn't do it.
Yeah,
it's disappointing. EA once again destroying our hopes and dreams, but Swayman and Boston are very far apart on AAV allegedly. No, I don't think he's going to end up in Detroit. I mean, we got 4 goalies right now, boys.
No, I don't think it's possible. What about Montreal though?
Oh, man, I mean, what about Chicago? I thought Chicago was going to get Askarov. I think Chicago still needs a number 1 tendy in the future, but I could be wrong. I really don't know much about their prospecting pool.
What about Ottawa?
With all hey, that could work out for them in their favor. We might have something to look out for now. Finally, Ryan Johansson's contract is terminated by the Philadelphia Flyers for something about a breach in materials, and he's now going to fight it to get, I think it's restitution. I might have the wrong wording there for it, but he's looking to fight that to earn some of that money back. Cody Ceci traded to the Sharks for a 3rd-round pick. Okay. And then Vasily Podkolzin traded to the Oilers for a 4th-round pick. That one really confused me. I was very confused by that. A 4th round pick for Vasily Podkolzin? Stan Bowman's doing work over there in Edmonton right now. I would not be shocked if they're actually a cup favorite and make it to the finals again this season.
Oh, Edmonton's going to be dynamite, dude. And
Yeah.
that's my wild take of the day. Edmonton's going to be unreal.
I mean, you get a Draisaitl who's on his last year there looking for massive amounts of money. I feel like he is going to be par basically to McDavid this year with how bad he wants it.
Yeah, fair. Yeah.
So both Draisaitl and McDavid getting 150 points this season?
I spread it out to like an even mixture, like 130 each. McDavid will come down because Draisaitl is doing a little more.
I like
I
it.
don't want.
That's not crazy.
But
No, it's not crazy whatsoever. I remember I made a bet with Jeff if McDavid could reach 150 points that 1 year, and he did. So it's anything's possible with that, man. I firmly believe it. All right, boys, let's jump into the main topic. So obviously it says MBN down below, but we will be touching on Casper too, because I think it's relevant to talk about him because he is in the Olympic pre-qualifying rounds, right? And MBN is scoring for the SHL preseason. Where do I start? I mean, I guess I'm just going to quote Steve Yzerman because I keep on posting that video of him. So MBN said his best trait is the shot. Would you agree? Oh, yeah. He can really rip it. I'm going to get that framed on my wall, and I'm going to praise to it every morning because this kid, I mean, 3 goals in 3 games, this kid? And then you look at Casper, he's got 2 goals in 1 game, I think it was, or maybe he's played a couple of games too. I haven't really been keeping track of it.
They both had 2-goal games for sure. I don't know how many games total they've played, but I know they both scored twice in 1 game, which is electric. That's amazing.
So let's go ahead and jump into the question of Michael Brandsegg-Nygård, however you pronounce it, to North America. Is that a realistic option this year? Carlo, I'll start with you. What is like the benefit of him if he were to come over to North America and start with the Detroit Red Wings, and then talk about obviously the downsides to that being an 18-year-old kid who was just drafted? So,
yeah, well, I mean, I think we're not too far removed from, kind of having the same type of scenario play out with Lucas Raymond, right? Raymond came and was on the team after a terrific camp. So if that were to happen with MBN, I think it's a great thing developmental wise for him because now he's playing with the guys who are on this team. He's playing with Larkin, which he probably will see Larkin in his tenure whenever he does make it over. But Patrick Kane, Vladimir Tarasenko, he's playing with some guys that have seen some shit and have done some shit. And I think that goes a long way for anybody. So if he were to have a terrific camp and if the if the organization were to be like, hey, like we want to have you on opening night roster, I think that would be terrific for him. And I think he would hold his own. I mean, he's got the total package, his size, his weight, obviously his shot. What I don't know about him is just his maturity level. And I think you have to caution a little bit. And this kind of segues perfectly into, maybe he doesn't make the team. Personally, I'm impartial. Like I would love for him to make the team for the points that I just made, but we have to remember he's young. Like he's a young kid. Is he mentally prepared and ready to pack up and move to North America? Like that's a big thing for somebody at his age. So, I think if he was given the opportunity to do it, I hope he would take it, but I don't know the guy. So, I mean, it's all speculation until it happens, but something you have to consider, right? Is he ready to do that? I mean, I've tried reading through the articles throughout the offseason. I think they were way earlier though in the offseason about, MBN and where he's going to play and where he wants to play. And I think it was SHL articles. I can't remember who posted them, but I was trying to read through those and it sounded like his heart was still, in Europe. And you got to kind of respect that. He's a kid. But hey, things change. Things change. Maybe he's lighting it up right now. I know, mind you, it's been a couple of games, but if he keeps on doing that, we know he's coming here for training camp. If he brings that horsepower over to Traverse City and starts lighting up camp, and finds his own, maybe he's going to be like, you know what? Screw it. I'm here. Let's go time. And I hope that's the case because I'd love to see another rookie come in and have a really impressive year. And it's all beneficial when you're spending your first year with the likes of Patrick Kane and Vladimir Tarasenko. So I think it's a win-win either way, guys. I really don't know if that answered your question, but I see it both ways. I'm down to have it both ways. That's what I got.
Derek, thoughts on that real quick? Or I guess your overall take. What are the goods and the bads of MBN coming over to North America?
Well, let's just go with once he lands, I'll just pop the tires on the plane, and whatever plane he tries to get back onto to leave, I'll pop those tires too. So he's staying in North America no matter what, boys, once he shows up. So got to get used to that. Whether it's going to be on the Griffins or the Red Wings, which most likely if you go and listen to the Hockeytown West podcast we just did, me and Zack, everyone on there is in pretty much agreement that he most likely will be bypassing the Grand Rapids Griffins and going right to the Red Wings, basically, with the talent that he has. But at the same time, we also got to look at the construction of the rosters on both teams right now. Holy crap, where is he going to go and who are we taking out of there? Because that's like the biggest issue right now. It's not like Raymond, one of the greatest prospects that we've had come up for a long time. He also came up during a time where the Red Wings were not doing well at all. So you basically got to bring up whatever you have to actually help the team, and it ended up working for him, unlike a previous draft pick that was supposed to score all the goals on Ottawa. That didn't work out that well, but at least Raymond did. Yeah, he doesn't play for us anymore. It's okay. But let's be honest, no matter where he gets put, I feel like he's just going to thrive. The only thing like Carlo said, the only thing I'm worried about is his maturity level, which it sounds like he might be a little bit more on the high end, which is a good thing for us, I would say, from what I've been hearing. And with how much he's been trying and how much he practiced and what he's been trying to at his compete level right now, it looks like he is trying to make that extra push to make it to the team. So I like where he's heading. Any situation right now over this next 1 year, though, I am going to be content with where he's at. If he's in AHL, SHL, or NHL, I feel like either one is going to be detrimental to his game going forward. So,
what question? Which league out of the three you just mentioned do you think he would thrive the most in?
I would say I was going to say the SHL probably right now, just because he's accustomed to that ice. He knows the game over there. Obviously, coming over here is a little bit of a transition, and that's why we usually get people like that year in the AHL to get used to it. But again, he has got a skill level that not many prospects have, and not many even people in our AHL level have right now. So you could definitely see something expedited.
What league do you think would be the most impactful to his development at this age?
Going off that, I'd say the NHL, just because of what you said, who we have on the team right now. Obviously, we have a lot of veterans, but these veterans were pretty much top of the food chain in their prime, and they're still at the top of their games, basically. Obviously, we're not getting no 100-point Kane right now, but he's still almost at a point per game player. Tarasenko, probably a point every other game, if not a point per game at that place still. Probably a point every other game, mostly for him right now, I would say. But guys with a lot of knowledge, a lot of great shots, a lot of great attributes. You can't really go wrong with having people in NHL teach the young guys coming up real quick. Totally. Obviously, the AHL is good, and so is the SHL, but NHL is the cream of the crop.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree with everything you just said, dude. Absolutely. Zack?
Yeah, could you repeat back those two questions for me?
So, out of the three leagues that Derek mentioned, SHL, AHL, and NHL, question one was, which league do you think MBN thrives in the most? And then the follow-up question was, which league do you think would be the most impactful to his development at his age today?
So we're very well versed on how the Red Wings roster will probably more than likely be constructed. And as Derek alluded to, and how I mentioned earlier too, we just did the Grand Rapids Griffins lineup with Hockeytown West, and that was even tough for us, right? And I second what Derek said. We did majority agree. We believe, whether if it's this year or any other year, we think MBN can bypass Grand Rapids Griffins. And it's not just because of his shot, but that very first goal that we saw him score with those clips that were provided to us. And I'm going to give these guys shout outs. Ice Hockey Gifts on Twitter, and then Red Wings Prospects on Twitter as well. They've been posting a lot of great feeds for us, for those that can't have access to those games. But yeah, huge shout out to those guys. But to answer your question, Carlo, I guess I'll start with the thrive one. Where is he going to thrive the best? I would say it's just really tough because I don't know how Skellefteå's roster is actually fully constructed. I know that he's getting power play time on the second power play, which is awesome. I don't think that he would. Maybe he could get that with the Red Wings. I would probably say for now, it would probably be in the SHL. Most impactful, it's with the Red Wings. Mm-hmm. Personally, I think it's with the Red Wings because you guys named off all those players. I think it's, Lucas Raymond had a little bypass, right, where the team was in a rough spot and he just blew the doors right out the gate, right? And then like we even said it for Nate Danielson, and I said this on Hockey Town West's episode. I thought Nate Danielson, you can say it was a mistake, maybe whatever you want to use the word for, but I thought Nate Danielson deserved to be on the roster last year for the Detroit Red Wings. However, the difference is here why I guess spoiler alert, I don't think Nate Danielson makes the Red Wings this season, and I think he stays in Grand Rapids because we know through and through center is a tougher position than being on the wing, right? And so for you guys mentioned maturity level, I'm just going to kind of go down this list. For maturity level, is that really the biggest worry? I know that Steve Yzerman and co really like to talk about that, but is that really what's going to set him off to not make this roster if he has that much lethal of a shot? And that very first game and that very first goal, if you watch the whole entire clip, that full shift that he did, it was like a minute and a half, maybe 2 minutes. He was knocking down players. He was getting engaged in the play. He was all over the ice and scored, like coming down the slotty essentially and just ripping it right into there. And all of his other goals have been fantastic too. And he's a scrappy motherfucker. I made that tweet about that. That dude loves getting into people. He's 200 pounds for Pete's sake. For an 18-year-old kid, he's 6'1" too. He's not small by any means. I think he can fit in well with the NHL play style. You're definitely going to have to set him up with some bigger players, maybe like a Michael Rasmussen and like a Christian Fischer of some sort, ones that aren't afraid to get rough and rugged with the opposing teams, right? And so I would love for a Michael Brandsegg-Nygård to have the opportunity to play with a Patrick Kane, because we said it time and time. Lucas Raymond benefited from it. You want another winger that can be like that too? Do it with MBN as quickly as possible before you lose that. Granted, you'll have Vladimir Tarasenko for this year and next year. And this is not a knack on Vladimir Tarasenko, but I want him to experience playing with both of those guys, Dylan Larkin, Lucas Raymond, Alex DeBrincat. I think that's probably the best way that you got to go. And to be honest with you guys, I think, let's go ahead and kind of talk about this. For me, the replacement for him, for me, would be Jonathan Berggren. I hate to say that, but I mean, you look at Jonathan Berggren essentially as the Daniel Sprong replacement. I just don't think Jonathan Berggren, he might be able to put up more points, but his defense lacks. He's more of a playmaker, and I'm looking at some of these names on here, and to me, I feel like we have more than enough players on this team that can facilitate the puck, and we don't have enough that can actually rip the puck. And I think Michael Brandsegg-Nygård honestly could be pretty serviceable in a two-way game. I got to see a little bit more out of the preseason from him if these games continue. He's coming to training camp this fall. I want to see how good he is on the defensive end, but I can see it where we see other teams do this too, and we saw this with Dylan Larkin. Just allow him to thrive. Just go out there and score goals. That's it. Don't even worry about playing defense or something. I could definitely see that part too. And then you guys also brought up Harden Europe. As an 18-year-old kid, yeah. But once again, also, what is the situation like in Skellefteå? Is he only going to be getting 12 minutes a night? Is he going to be given the opportunities versus over here, right? And then I guess the other thing too would just it comes down to the roster construction. I mean, like Derek said, I mean, it was tough doing Grand Rapids roster. This is even more tough because, like I said, I would have to pull out Jonathan Berggren. Whether if that's in a press box or via trade. that's my personal take on it. Maturity level, I don't think that's anything we should be concerned about, because I don't think he's going to be a punk ass kid or by any means.
No. I don't. That's not what I look. I look at it as just being just a. Not trying to say MBN's a punk and he's going to start knifing people and shivving people. No.
God.
Absolutely not. He actually looks like a very quaint young man. I mean, Derek and I were looking at his headshot moments ago, and he just looks like a very stoic young gentleman. But
I feel like he's in high school with that photo I saw, but
No, I look at it as, and I'm not saying like, listen, anyone who's going to have an opportunity to be, hey, you're making the Red Wings. Oh yeah, okay, then obviously you're gonna be there. But I just look at it as, is he going to come here and be? And I look at mental. I guess it's fortitude is maybe the more. That's what I was more leaning towards when I was talking about his maturity. Is he mentally strong? Because you're going to come here to a place that, I mean, I don't know if he's ever been here before. You're going to be around. People obviously fighting with you. Now you have an edge on these people because of your size, your shot, and what you've done. But now you're going to be playing with and skating with like NHLers. Is he mentally strong enough to hang? That's what I mean by maturity. Can he hang? Because they're obviously going to test him very, very hard. And that's what I'm really, really much looking forward to when it comes to Traverse City opening up. All eyes are going to be on him, and how does he hang with these guys?
Mm-hmm.
And if he does hang, then yeah, I think there's a good chance he will be on opening night. But that all remains to be seen. I just wanted to clarify. That's what I meant by maturity. I don't think he's going to come here and be like ripping farts in the locker room and like none of that. It's just mental fortitude. Does he have the mental capacity and strength to hang with the boys, play with the boys, and put up with them as well? I think that's what it mainly comes down to.
No, yeah, and I'll agree with you. But the one counter argument that I have against that is that's kind of the point that I think that I was trying to make too, is like you're going to be playing with true veteran leaders and Patrick Kane, Dylan Larkin, Vladimir Tarasenko, people that have won cups, people that have been in the game for 10 plus seasons or around there. I think that those types of players could help them with that. I guess that would be my argument for it. But you make a really good point, Carlo, right? As you're not only, coming to North America, but like whole new team, whole new system, you don't know anyone really, but how can he adjust during training camp? I think that's going to be a really tall telling sign. And honestly, low key, I think this benefits him being able to do these preseason games before training camp even starts. I think that gives him a little leg in the room to have a better opportunity to make the team, because he's got that one step above everyone else there.
Yeah, I agree. So, I agree with that wholeheartedly, dude. You're right. He's got his feet under him right now. Obviously, he's feeling good. He's got some confidence and swagger with him as well. Bring that over here and continue to light up. Then I think there's a pretty easy pathway for him to opening night potentially. But I just hope that I hope that comes to fruition. I really do, for us as fans and for him and as a player and as an athlete.
Now let's kind of go back to what I was saying. And I know people that are listening to this, they're probably asking, why are you skipping over this part? We're not going to, but your thoughts on me taking out Berggren in place of MBN if something like this did happen real quick. Would you select maybe someone else?
It really depends on who shows up, but MBN right now is pretty much the top of the list. Then you got Mazur right underneath them. So it's really just those two that would be battling out for that position, I would see.
But who would sorry, Derek, just to reiterate the question, who would he replace currently, I guess, on the Red Wings roster if you had to pick someone in place of MBN, like how I said Jonathan Berggren?
Basically the only person I really see. I mean, you got Mott down there, maybe, but at the same time, I'd rather not put NBN shuffled down on the fourth line, getting sheltered minutes with. I mean, obviously, Veleno and Fisher, not bad players. Fisher will give him all that grit that he needs. He'll learn a little bit there. Veleno, not a bad center, but I'd rather him be pushed up the lineup a little bit if he's going to make that jump and if he's actually eligible and he shows that he's ready. I feel like if he shows that he's ready enough to jump up, he's not to be put down there. So it's going to be the third line and up type deal. So really the only spot I see there on that third line and up is Johnny Burgers. And what do we do with Johnny Burgers now? Because I don't think he's going to be happy sitting up in the press box anymore.
I wouldn't be happy either. I mean, but it should be, we keep on saying, look, I mean, someone else posted this on Twitter. Nick and I talked about it on Hockey Town West, and I think you and I talked about it too, Carlo. So I'm not stealing anyone's idea. Other people probably have this idea. The contracts for Lucas Raymond and Moritz Seider are probably already done, right? They're just waiting to come back from Europe for training camp, right?
I would bet on that.
What is going on with Jonathan Berggren, though? Like, is he also doing the same thing? Like, is he over in Europe? We really haven't heard. Is he?
I follow him. I follow on Instagram. He is definitely in Sweden, 100%.
So do you think that that's a similar case, or do you think it's a little different with him? Because then if you do, and it's kind of a situation where they're still far apart from negotiation, then I guess I can sit there and say, then yes, I think MBN probably has the better opportunity to make the spot, and Berggren could see himself either sitting or being traded.
I think Berggren's going to get traded. I honestly think there's another move coming still.
Right.
Call me crazy. I really do think there's something that's got to go still to make this lineup concrete. But if MBN does make the roster, I business-wise, I get it. Like, Berggren's got to go. And then when you look at the skill and the roster construction, keep in mind, guys, like, Berggren's small. MBN is not small.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I am A-okay when it comes to the roster, as a fan, as someone whose brain is like, how do I make this roster the best potential roster? If MBN's ready, then it's an easy decision business-wise. Berggren's coming out, MBN's going in, because I just put 40 more pounds on that wing. And, who's the other winger? Michael Rasmussen, another mammoth. Now you got two Michaels and a cop. Look out.
Oh, man. And going off of that, too, if that's where you were going to put MBN and that was the lineup, Ras, Cop, MBN.
Yep.
There's your goal scorer right there.
Yeah.
You let Cop be that two-way center, that can go up and down, and the Rasmussen's that forechecker. That's a perfect lineup that you want, right?
Yep.
And I can make the argument, too, that I could see them putting MBN with Comfort and Patrick Kane. You can call me crazy. You can call me stupid, even if you want. Go ahead and leave it down in the comment section below. But I think if you were going to do this, MBN making the roster, I think you put MBN on the second line with Comfort and Kane, and you push Vladimir Tarasenko down to the third line. I think that would be just as fine as well, because I want MBN to be exposed to true veteran leaders that also have lethal shots and kind of just teach them the ropes. Also, to the counterpoint of what I just said, being on that third line, that could help him learn other aspects of the game, because we already know his shot is good. So maybe he doesn't need to learn anything more from Patrick Kane or Vladimir Tarasenko. Maybe he needs to work on his overall ability to battle along the boards, hit people, get in fights, all this other stuff that we see Michael Rasmussen and Christian Fischer do.
Yeah.
Can he elevate his two-way game a little bit? Does he only have the offensive upside, right? So I would love to see that. So I think, Derek, kind of like how you said, it's third line and up from there. But we know that the third and fourth line, they're not as, black and white as we like to say that they are. It's interchangeable, right? And it all depends on what everyone is doing. But okay, I'm just going to kind of put this out there. Who would you rather have in a power play 2 spot, Jonathan Berggren or MBN?
MBN. 200 pounds, bro.
Because if you hold on, Derek, before you answer that too, because if you look at PP1, it's probably more than likely ADV, Dylan Larkin, Lucas Raymond, Patrick Kane, and Seider. More than likely, maybe.
I'm looking at, just to keep us all honest, I'm looking at daily faceoff right now, and the first power play unit is Eric Gustafsson. You nailed everybody else.
Okay, then that's fine too. I can live with that. So then what does it say for the power play 2?
Tarasenko, Comfer, Berggren, Seider, and Veleno.
That's a no-brainer for me. MBN over Berggren.
Bro, he's 200 pounds. Like, he's going to be very difficult to A, cover, and B, get off the puck.
He is, you know what? This is so funny. I know that I said, this just came into my brain. I actually didn't think about it this way. He could be David Perron for us.
I mean, I don't know about day one, but eventually, absolutely.
But the way that you mentioned, and it just clicked in my head, he's going to be hard to get off the puck.
Yeah.
You know who else was hard to get off the puck?
Yeah,
David Perron.
Big, thick dude. Yes.
Not saying that they're going to be exactly similar, but that could be the replacement instead of saying, okay, we need Jonathan Berggren to replace Daniel Sprong. We saw how that experiment worked out, right? I mean, he couldn't play freaking defense and he was sat down. And you even look at Jonathan Berggren's first stint with the Red Wings where he played, what was it, like 60 something games. Okay. He was basically essentially Daniel Sprong. Then he got replaced with Daniel Sprong. Okay. Then we saw Jonathan Berggren have this small stint last season. He really didn't look that good. He had some moments, but his overall game was not impressive. Granted, obviously his deployment probably wasn't the greatest. They probably didn't utilize him properly, but this is my opinion. This is my thoughts. So you guys can tell me I'm wrong all you want. Please leave it down in the comment section below. I do appreciate it. But what do you guys think about that? Derek, you go ahead. You haven't spoken in a while.
I mean, if we just keep seeing what we're seeing right now from NBN and it's a continuous thing, him just getting better from where he's at, and this is actually what we're getting, for days I'm replacing Berggren with him. Like, there's not even a question to ask. As of right now, obviously, I'm back and forth on it just because Berggren has the experience in both AHL and NHL, and he knows how to play the game kind of up there right now when NBN has not played a single game yet. So that's why I'm a little back and forth on it. But again, like I said, if we just get the consistency from NBN, he plays like this all the time, and obviously if he's playing like this all the time, he's only going to get better because, again, he's 18 years old, 200 and some pounds, 6'1", 6'2". Like, if you just continuously improve your game at that level of where he's at, like, he's going to be shooting up to that second, first line in really a matter of 2-3 years. So at that point, yeah, you swap him out with Berggren real quick. It just sucks because obviously we lose one player, but at the same time, we're getting a better one.
Yeah, I think this is gonna be one of those situations that may come down to the wire. I could be completely wrong, but Carlo, what are your overall thoughts, I guess?
Yeah, I do think it's going to come down to the wire for sure. But I mean, I don't know. Nygard's technically a little bit taller, even though it's only 2 inches. He's taller. He's got almost 10 pounds on Berggren. I really do think it would be a little more advantageous to ride with MBN, given that he comes and tears up camp and he makes the name for himself. I think that would make the most sense. And I mean, we haven't even discussed the hypothetical of if this does play out and Berggren does get traded, what does that mean? Who's coming back? Who's leaving? Is Berggren leaving with somebody else to free up cap so that we can make something crazy happen at the deadline? Like, there's so many different things that could go into this in terms of the hypotheticals, but because like, let's be honest here, you sign Ray, Mo, and Berggren, like, you're lucky if you have $100,000 in cap space left going into the season. So, that's why I think there's another move coming. I think Yzerman likes to have a little bit of wiggle room. But anyways, those are my thoughts. MBN over JB, given that MBN comes in, has a dynamite camp, makes a name for himself. I am totally A-okay with that, given everything happens the way it does.
No, you make really good points there. Yeah, and sometimes it does come down to the salary cap too. Yeah, just like you said. I mean, what if the Red Wings do get themselves in a position where maybe they can spend a little bit at the trade deadline, right? Maybe they're in a cushy spot, right? And maybe they do see a point where there's a possibility they can make it into the second round. This is just me spitballing, not saying, yes, the Red Wings are going to make the playoffs, right? I have my own thoughts that's saved for another episode down the line, but yeah, I think this is all really good stuff, and I think we can kind of end it from here, boys, unless you guys have anything else you want to talk about real quick on the topic at hand, but I think we can move along.
Yeah.
I'm all good on our end.
All right, cool. Carlo, are we skipping on honorary Red Wing mention, or do you have one real quick?
You know what? I don't have one, and I'm a little disappointed because I never got any suggestions last week.
Put them in the comment section, people.
Folks,
we might have to ask everyone on social media.
I know it's late in the episode, but if you're still here, think of a Red Wing that made you smile. Doesn't matter if they scored or not, but they made you smile. Just put their name in the comments, and they're going to be our next Red Wings honorary mention. But no, I do not have one this week. That is my bad. Realistically, I can come up with one in like 4.6 seconds, but you know what? I think we're gonna go till next week, and we're gonna make it a real good one. We're gonna go deep in that cookie jar next week. Oh yeah,
we'll go. I like it. We'll go ahead and give the time back to the viewers and the watchers. Derek, do you have anything you want to touch on real quick?
No, not really. I just want some moves to be made right now. I'm getting kind of annoyed with how Steve is just dangling everything in front of us, but not actually let us catch anything. So I'll need those people behind you, Zack, to have some moves done, or if they are done, I want an announcement. And then I just need announcements. I just need any kind of news at this point. Otherwise, I might go insane.
Yeah. Well, I have a feeling with the whole center ice thing that these teams are starting to put out, I think we'll see some Detroit Red Wings media about the ice getting put back, which is going to make us super happy. And it's just I can already see my tweet. Oh dear Lord, center ice is being drafted. However, Lucas and Mo are still unsigned. Here's the photo, folks. No, it's coming, guys. It's coming. The good news, I think I put it out there. Somebody was freaking out. Training camp's not that far away, which means neither are Lucas and Mo. So go have another mimosa, go have another Cutwater, and we'll get there.
We'll get there.
Fancy out there. Cutwater,
all right.
Dude, they're dangerous. No free ads, but like Cutwaters are dangerous. Whew.
No free ads. Okay. Well, I guess that was kind of our final thoughts too, right? I guess I can speak for everyone. Let's go let's go Red Wings. Let's go Grand Rapids. I can't speak on this Sunday. Thank you all for joining us once again on this episode of Hockeytown Rundown. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit the thumbs up. Let's get it to over 20 likes. You guys are once again doing a fantastic job at doing that. So do it again. You can also find us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. You can hit that follow button and rate us 5 stars. That really does help us out. And also, we're only 5 followers away from our Twitter giveaway, or at least the announcement of the giveaway that we're going to do for the limited item that you could only get at a Red Wings game last season. So I have not said what it is yet. So get us 5 more followers, please. And then from there, I think we can go ahead and exit, and we'll see y'all on the next one. Goodbye.
Later, guys.
Bye, y'all.